Hi everyone, my name is Akhilesh Srivastav, and in this video I would like to show you how we can create a multilingual web application using Angular 2 and Angular Translate 2. So this video is actually a remake of my previous videos wherein I have used Angular and Angular Translate to create a multilingual websites. So we can easily develop Angular 2 applications by using Angular CLI, which is an excellent tool for developing, building, and packaging Angular 2 applications. So I would also suggest the same, and same I am using for this project. So I have already installed this, and now we will go ahead and create our new project. So we'll start by giving the command ng new, and we will call our application as ng translate 2. So this will create a project directory, and it will go ahead and download all the node modules which are required to run our project. This activity takes some time to complete. So once this completes, if you go and check your file explorer, so you can see that Angular CLI has created one project, ng translate 2, and inside that the tool has also configured all the files which is required to build our application, and inside the node modules it has downloaded and put all the node components which is required, and inside the src folder it has set up a demo application which we can further use to develop our applications. So in order to view this application locally, we need to first go inside our folder, and then we need to give the command ng translate, ng serve. So this will compile all the files, and it will also start a local server on port 4200, which we can use to view our application. So this activity also takes some time to complete, but once it is done, we need to give the following URL, that is http://localhost:4200, and now we can see our working demo app. We now have to install three more things. First one is ng2 translate module. So for that we can copy this command from here, and we can kill this, and here we can give this following command to install ng2 translate. So this will go ahead and fetch all the required files, and it will install Angular 2 translate module into our app. After this, we need to install Jquery and Bootstrap. So for that we can say npm install Jquery. So this will also install the required modules into our app, which is required to build our application. So here I have already set up one simple Angular 2 application, but as you can see it's not coming properly as proper styles are not loading. So in order to fix that, we have to open angular-cli.json, and here we have to specify styles and scripts. So let's do it here. So here I have specified the location for Bootstrap and Jquery, and now we will go ahead and stop our server. And so in order to start our server, we have to type the command ng serve. So this will compile and restart the local server. So this is a static Angular application which we will make it multilingual throughout this course. So here you can see we have three screens. One is the home, and the second one is the about screen, and then we have a contact screen where we can have one contact form. So it's pretty static, and we have an language selector dropbox which does nothing as of now. So before we can continue, I just want to quickly walk through uh, to its code files. So let's start by our app component.ts file. So here you can see it's a simple component where we have a selector my app, and it is calling one template URL. So let me quickly open it. So this is our main shell of our application. So here you can see we have one header, and here we have one language selector dropbox, and here we have a router outlet onto which we will load our different screens. And this is our app.module.ts file. So here we need to include few modules, like we need a browser module, HTTP module, router, form module, and then we also need to include our app module, home component, about component, and contact component. And here you can see I have set up one route module, and here we have three routes: home, about, and contact. And we have Bootstrap, our app component here. We will now go ahead and see our home component. So this is our home component, and as you can see, nothing much happening here. It's a simple component where there is no actual logic. It's only calling one template URL. So let's open this home.component.html file. So here you can see we have just one welcome message and few static text. In the same way, we can quickly look to our about component. So here also you can see here I have just declared one component which is actually doing nothing, and it is just calling one template, that is about.component.html. Just quickly see it also. So here also you can see here we have only one title and few simple text here. And the last one is the contact. So here also you can see in contact component nothing. It's only calling this template that is contact.component.html. And here you can see it's a static HTML form which does nothing. We will now go ahead and include our translate module into our project. So let's first, let me close all the files, and we will start by importing translate service. So here we will say import, and here we will say translate service. From ng to translate. Okay, and here we have to create one constructor. So here we will say constructor, and here we need to create one variable that is private, and we will call it translate of type translate service. Okay, and here we need to specify the language. So here we will see we will say translate dot add language, and so this accepts one array. So we have to specify so language, that is, so in our case we will have English, then French, and then we have Chinese and Hindi. Okay, and then we will set the default language. So we will say translate dot set default language, and which will be English. So we can also detect the language from the browser. So for that we will say let browser lang. So we'll create one variable known as browser lang, and here we will say and then we'll say get browser lang. Okay, and then based upon the browser language we will load the default language. So for that we will say translate dot use, and then here we have to say so we'll say browser lang dot match. So if it matches any language which is starting with English or French or Chinese or Hindi, so it will use that language, or else it will use English as a default language. So here we will say browser lang. Let's copy this. Otherwise it will use English. After this we also need to include the same into our app.module file. So let's copy this and open our app.module.ts and include the same here. So before we can implement translations, we first need to have translations available. So by default, translate service looks inside the folder i18n. So here I have already created one folder and place all the translation files here. So let's see one by one. So this is en.json file. So here all the translations are available in English. So here we can see we have keys and then the respective translations. And in the same way we have other files, like this is cn.json. So here all the translations are available in Chinese. In the same way we have all the translation available in French, and inside hi.json you can see all the translations are available in Hindi. So before we can implement translation, we need to import translate module inside our app.module.ts file. So here earlier I imported translate service by mistake. So instead of that, here we should import translate module. So let's go ahead and quickly fix this. Okay, and here we have to specify translate module dot for root. After doing this, we can go ahead and start implementing our translation. So we'll start by opening our home.component.html file, and let's replace this welcome text with our translation key. So we can here use interpolation, and we have to specify the key. So the name of the key is main text, and we will use the translate filter, and here we will say translate. Okay, so once done we will go ahead and reload our app. So in order to see that, so as here we can see this because our default language is English, so that's why we are not seeing any difference here. But to prove that the translation is being applied properly, we can come to our app.component.ts file, and let's copy this file, this line, and let's default it to say Hindi, and we will go ahead and comment this line, and let's come to our application. So here you can see this welcome text is now written in Hindi. We will now go ahead and do the same thing to the other places. So let's go to our home.component.html. So here also we can let's open the world wrap, and here also we can go ahead and remove this, and instead it would be better if I copy this. Okay, and let's put it here. In the same way, we need to put this thing here, here, and here. Same way here, 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 and here. Now we will go ahead and update the keys. So this key is lead text, and in the same way this is main button, and this key is head 1, text 1, head 2, text 2, and head 3 and text 3. Okay, we will now go ahead and update our application. So here you can see that so now Angular CLI has reloaded this application, and now you can see that all our texts are coming in Hindi. Looks like I have a typo here, and we have fixed the whole page. So here you can see that headers are not showing in Hindi. Why? Because we haven't applied translation for this screen. So let's go ahead and do the same. So for that we need to open app.component.html, and we will start applying our translation keys here. So here instead of home, this is home link. Same way, this is about link, and this one is contact link, and in the same way this select language also we need to replace with, so the name of the key is cell_lang. Okay, and let's also specify the translation for this language. So it will be actually the labels. So here for English it is languages.english, okay, let's copy this thing. So in the same way this will be French, Chinese, and Hindi. And in the same way we will update this title. So, and the key for title is simply title. So after doing all these changes, we will go ahead and update our application. So it is being recompiled and updated. So here you can see now the title is also coming in Hindi, and even our language selector drop box is also coming in Hindi. We will now go ahead and do the same for about page and contact us page, and we will apply the same process for our about page. So let's replace this with the new keys. So the new key is about dot page title, and this one is also about dot page text. And we can quickly see our application. So here you can see that our about page is also now in Hindi. So we have two pages. We have applied the language keys. One is for home page and another is for about us page. So in order to save some time, I have already applied the translation keys in our contact us page. So here is the contact us page, contact.component.html. So here you can see for labels, I have applied this key here, and the same thing I have done for the placeholder. So it's almost pretty same, except in this hobby where it's a Dropbox. So here also I have applied the same way I have done what I have done for language selector Dropbox. So now you can see our whole application has got the translation keys, and uh, and then we can see all our application in Hindi. But as of now, there is no way we can choose any language of your choice. So we will go ahead and implement the same. So we will first come to app.component.ts, and let's uncomment this line, and let's remove this line because we don't want to hard code any language. And now we'll go to our app.component.html, and here we would like to add one function, and we will call that function as change language, and we have to pass the language ID. So let's do it. So we'll say click, and this will call the function, and the name of the function is change language. And here we will pass the language key uh, or language ID. So EN for English. So let's go ahead, copy the same thing, do it for here also, and for here. So for French we need to just pass FR, for Chinese CN, and for Hindi we'll just pass Hindi. We will now go to our app.component.ts, and here we will create one function, and we will call this function as change language, and it will accept one argument, that is lang, and here we will simply we will say this dot translate dot use, and we have to just pass this lang here. We can now update our application. So now we can choose any language from this language selector Dropbox. So let's choose French. So now you can see all our application is now appearing in French. In the same way you can choose any language, say Chinese. So you can see our whole application is in Chinese, and the same way if you choose Hindi, so we can see all our application stays in Hindi language. So till now we have seen that user has to use this language selector Dropbox in order to change the language of the application. So as of now there is no way where we can specify our application in what language it should appear in front of users. I mean to say, like it would be better if we have something like if we can pass this argument lang equals to en or any like cn in this case, and our application should appear in Chinese. So we will now go ahead and implement this functionality. So first of all, we need few imports. So these are the imports we require, and we need to create one private variable subscription. So we will say private subscription. Let's have this, and it will be of type subscription. Okay, and then in the constructor we need to add activated route. So here we will say private, and so let's make it small, and it will be also of type activated route. Okay, and so here we also need to specify on init. So here we will say ng on init, and here we will say this dot subscription equals to this dot activated route activated route dot query parameter, and we will subscribe to that. Okay, and the param is type any, and here we will say let locale equals to param of locale. So this is how we captured the query param, and here we will say if locale not equals to undefined, so here we will say this dot translate dot use, and here we will pass the argument that is locale. Okay, so since we have used this on init and on destroy, so we have to implement ng on destroy. Okay, and here we will say this dot subscription dot unsubscribe. Now we can check the same into our app. So here if you see, the default language is English because it is detecting from the browser's language. So but we want to force our application to appear in some other language. So what we can do is we can say locale equals to say French. So now you will see that the language loads and the default language is French, and you can see the whole language appears in French language. However, user is still free to choose the language of his choice, and the application will be presented in the selected language. There are some times when we have missing translations. So Angular 2 gives us elegant way of handling missing translation. So for that I have created one component, and I am calling it as missing template component.ts, and inside that I'm importing missing translation handler and missing translation handler params from ng2translate. And here I have created one class and I am calling this class as my missing translation handler, and which is implementing missing translation handler. And here if you can see, I am just returning that which translation keys are not available. So here I am returning this message, translations are not available for, and here the name of the key. And after this we need to specify the same inside our app.module.ts. So here we also need to include one missing translation handler, and we also need to uh, include our my missing translate handler component that we created. After this we need to specify the same into our provider list. So here we will say providers, and in this array, oops, it should be array, and in this array we need to specify provide, and here missing template handler, and use class is our component, that is my missing handler. So we can validate the same by opening two translation file, like say one Chinese, that's cn.json, and another one is en.json, and let's remove this title in from both the files. Okay, and now we will go ahead and update our application. So here you can see the message translations not available for title, and if you choose the language to French, so here you can see that translation for title is available, and hence title is appearing in French. But if you again go to Chinese, so here also you will see the same thing. But if you again go to Hindi, you can see the title is displayed here. So this brings end to this video. I hope you might have enjoyed this. I have posted all the source code in GitHub, and whose URL is also given below in the description. Your comments, suggestions and critics are always welcome. You may subscribe if you like so. Thanks again.